Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Go, let's go, guys. This is El Dorado. This is our first Battle Royale map. We're going to play 2 maps, and as you can see, it's pretty bloody hectic. I know we don't have game sounds. I'm going to fix that while Salt talks us through Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. You remember this fun, fast new game mode that came out within like half a year of release of the year or something, and it was very popular for a solid 5 weeks. Well, we brought it back in style.
Absolutely.
They're also featuring a new system, a new DLC. We have players all across the map. We actually have 3 players in the south, 3 players in the north, and I have a serious struggle finding player 7 on the mini-map here.
Top right at the top is grey.
Ah, brilliant. There we go. Definitely not confusing on the minimap at all. Actually, it was a bit better in capture rate. Alright, we see a whole lot of Bengalis here.
Oh, yeah, like a lot. We've got, Triss has dropped. Let me just see if something's happened there.
Oh no.
Oh no. But yeah, 3 players pick Bengalis. Do you guys hear game sounds? Bit loud. Oh, okay.
I guess that's yes. Okay, so while you figure out what is happening with Triss over here, I'll just kind of talk about, like, I think Bengalis is a little bit of an interesting pick. I guess the idea is trying to use the elephants that are more resistant to both monks and halberdiers, so really strong all-around units. Usually really hard to get to, but Battle Royale, of course, you get resources over time, you can capture all the buildings with military, so there's not that much of eco behind it. So makes the elephants a lot more accessible, I suppose.
Okay. Have you got a pause, or did I pause my game? Oh my god.
Oh, you paused the game. Yeah.
Shit.
Sorry,
what
I'm
time
still
are you
running.
at? I'll speed up.
I am now actually at 4:40.
Okay. I was ahead, but I think it's just because I was catching up to live. So I'm going to pause at 5:15.
Okay, I'll let you know when I'm there.
Thanks. And will you pause too?
That would be the idea, yes.
Good.
Brilliant. Already as smooth as a one night regatta.
I know, it's just perfect. It's perfect. But while I'm paused here, while you get to 5:16, I'm actually at.
Which I am now.
Okay, perfect. We'll go in 3, 2,
Sub
1,
goes for people
go.
I see building up big time hype in chat.
Thank you, Karu. So guys, unfortunately, I just had to message in Discord, like, did Triss drop? What happened? But no, unfortunately, she just got knocked out. I don't know where Triss started, but she must have lost her 2 starting units very, very quickly. So Triss is out of the first game. She will have a second chance in the second match. But here on El Dorado, it is now 7 players. And as you can see on the mini-map, this fog is closing in. And once it does, it'll destroy everything in its path. So archery range, dead. That Siege Onager, soon to be dead. So everyone's going to be moving into the center. And at the moment, it's PT up top in grey. He's got the highest population, currently on 69. Nice. And PT playing as Bulgarians. What do you think of that div here up against now 2 players as Bengalis?
Is better than a Decathlon in
and 2 as students as well.
I feel like Bulgarians is a really interesting civ because they have so many good late game options. Like the Konik is a great unique unit with a drop-off spawn. It's good against different sort of units. They have really good siege. They have stirrups. So I think Bulgarians does make a lot of sense, but they are kind of limited on some archery range units, which can be tricky in scenarios. And the question is also like, how will it do against the Bengalis elephants? Yeah, I think that's a fair question. The halberdiers are less effective. Are they still effective enough? I think the team needs to get a lot of barracks and to kind of make that work. Also is adding scorpions. Fun fact, they do get bonus damage against elephants, so maybe that is a bit of an option here too, but you really need good numbers to make that work.
Okay, and we can see that Grey, so PT, still with the highest population, playing as Bulgarians. He's got to his left Postponing Camel, playing as Bengalis, and we're talking about how they're going to go against the Bengali elephants. Maybe the Halb's not as effective, but even going Halbs is going to be very tricky with PPC using the Bengali unique unit of the Ruth, which can go range, can go melee. I think there's a bug with it at the moment where when it changes back to ranged, it deals melee damage, which I find interesting. I don't know if that's still the case, but that's what I hear. So
that's
these two,
the first time I heard of it, so I wouldn't be able to confirm nor deny it.
Yeah, maybe in chat, maybe you guys know, but These two not engaging against each other just yet. I see Yellow. Now, I don't know who that person is. Who are we missing? I think it's Kiri from Team Ray Ray in the yellow. Playing
Yes,
as the
you're right.
Berbers, which is a great civ, but here, up against Elephant Archers from Sampersand's Bengalis. Now, Sampersand only 37 pop. Kiri up on 50, and Camel Archers are so awesome. How do they do against Elephant Archers, though?
I mean, Camel Archers do get the bonus damage, so in theory they should be pretty fine, I suppose. At the end of the day, Elephant Archers are really beefy, but I think Camel Archers should be pretty effective.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. Now, everyone's sort of moving into the middle. I think there's just maybe 2 castles that are yet to be claimed. One in the middle, one down the bottom. We see 8 Spy, second highest score, and almost highest population, right up there with PP. PT. So 8 Spy is playing as Teutons. We see Paladins, we see KP Boys, we even see Hand Cannoneers and Siege coming in as well. So I feel like 8 Spy has a lot of the map. Seems like 8 Spy in green and PT in grey are top runners at the moment. Yellow almost out of it now. 19 population, just Camel Archers. 19 Camel Archers. And then behind that would be Sampersand now in the red. So they're our bottom 2. In terms of population score as well, can they make it back?
The interesting thing is that Kiri, as Berbers with the Camel Archers, it is pretty good against Teutons. He can always just hit and run to see if he can capture some settlements here and there. And 8 Spy is focusing on quite a bit of fronts now, so he might get away with it and survive for a little bit. But Sampersand does have quite a bit more actual buildings, is able to produce a bit more. So it's kind of a question who's going to get knocked out, because we have to keep in mind, over here people get gets points based on how quickly they get eliminated. So you don't have to be the biggest army in the field. Sometimes just being in the right position with the right units can be good enough to secure some extra points for your team here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas, thank you for the sub. Thanks for 3 months and cheering for 8 Spy. Now, I see elite Shotel warriors coming out of Trace's castle in the middle. Trace mainly on the left-hand side. Ethiopians have awesome siege, and that is doing well against the hand cannoneers here. Lots of units coming in with the Arbs, the Scorpions, the siege, like BBC. I think every form of siege here, except for siege towers, is on the map from our player in orange, Trace. Oh, Hammer Time getting knocked out now, just by the Fog of War closing in.
Oh wow, we had so much eyes on Samper and Kiri that Hammer Time just went out completely unnoticed, kind of got squished there in between the players. And yeah, that is rough. We still see Kiri's just on the run in the south from some of 8 Spy's halberdiers. He definitely wants to be dodging those onages though. That's not something he wants to mess around with anytime soon.
Yeah, so nice micro there from the clump of 17 Camel Archers, and Kiri is making more things, so still getting resources coming in. We have champions, we have a monk, but might get squished here with the Fog of War closing in. It can very, very quickly take a whole army out, just like that. Will the monk get a paladin? Long conversion, and no paladin, no onager hit. Now let's check out up top with Grey vs Red. So this is PT from TBD up against Sampersand from Team Goblin. And I see a lot of red splat with the Wrath up against the Connects now. So we do have Connects, we've got Cavalier, and PT's got so many units up on 146 population. But it's 8 Spy in green, Teuton player with max pop.
It is kind of tricky though, because I feel like Petit might end up fighting on multiple fronts. I feel like Petit is like one of the strongest players right now, except for maybe 8 Spy. I feel like 8 Spy has such a good position right now. Lots of map control, close to the center, high in population, and no one is really in an active fight with 8 Spy right now. Like Petit is like, kind of fighting both of his neighbors. Camo is going to run out of space soon, is going to be forced to fight Petit very shortly. But 8 Spy just vibing in that corner there.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even a corner. It's just like maybe, okay, a bit more than a quarter of the map, but not losing units. And would have plenty of trade thingy things. They've got 8. So the, highest amount of trade workshops. PT's on 7, now 8. So even there, but you're right, PPC with a lot of Wraths and Siege onagers, just onagers, and a couple of champs in there as well will need to move into PT. I love that Kiri is still alive. Kiri's got 10 Camel Archers, still is kicking on. Hello, Eagles.
I mean, And in the meantime, Stamper did get eliminated here, so he buying a bit more space for himself now, only has to focus on one flank, but yeah, Camel is now forced to move out. Kiri did manage to secure that little extra spot, even snuck a stable in for a little bit to get a few more camels out. I feel like these little things can help, but we definitely have like the two big boys here in Petit and 8spy. Camel trying to kind of live on the edge here. And Spray's just kind of being like, well, trying to just mess up some army and see if they can kind of safely stay in this game.
Yeah, but the longer it goes on, the more squishy it's going to get. The players are going to have to move into the middle, and at the moment, we do have 5 players still in it. I reckon Kiri's not going to be able to contribute much, unfortunately, from this point. So 4 players, and it looks like grey-blue trying to go against each other.
Oh, in the north, those Rathas. Oh, no, that was a disaster.
Oh, I don't know whether I'm behind or I just haven't seen it yet. Oh, yeah, no, I see it. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. PPC down on 24 population in a second, and it's gonna get worse. PPC down 11 population now, so it's 8spy Trace with the highest pop. PT not far behind. They're moving in, and Kiri still alive.
Like, honestly, Camel maybe should have considered earlier on to just try and hunt for Kiri, just to secure that 4th position. Because right now, Camel took such a bad engagement. It was a really rough spot though, like he was stuck between the rock and a hard place, but I feel like the only way that Camel can actually climb in points is hoping that Kiri gets eliminated first.
Yeah, I cannot see Kiri, but I know there's 13 population. There we go. So PT just with 2, and we can really call it just half a rough. And it's actually now Kiri that's chasing and gonna take PPC out by the looks of it. No, the castle will do the job. Okay, PPC out. These are our top 4 players here. And looking at it, it looks pretty even based on the amount of units the players have. 8spy 177, PT 120, Trace 154. So Teutons versus Bulgarians versus Ethiopians. You guys let me know in chat who you want to win, who you think is going to close out this game here in El Dorado before we go to the second Battle Royale game.
I feel like this is definitely the trickiest for Trace to play out. There's so many squishy units, there's so many oranges, and it's so easy to lose so many units in one hit. And wow, that is actually happening right now. All the players are just going at each other at the same time, and it's an absolute full-blown out war here in the center. I think 8spy has a beautiful position with the castle in the middle here. The KP boys, there's no running from the KP boys right now. There's also the oranges to kind of deal with the range units. I feel like 8spy might be able to capture it.
I think so too. The KP boys doing really, really good work here, taking out all the champions from Bulgarians. Champions, 200 swordsmen, I mean. And having that castle in the middle was great for 8spy as well. He actually had a lot of Teutonic Knights in it, waiting for the right moment to move out. And now the siege should clean up our Ethiopian player.
Gary is still running around with world's most minimal army right now. It actually has a position that Kiri could theoretically get in 3rd place if Trace gets eliminated here.
And it's 4 units for Trace, just 1 camel and 2 siege onagers. Kiri's got 2 camel archers and 1 camel. Oh, 1 unit left for Kiri and the... Oh, how did that... Okay, I think... Oh my lord, the micro.
Actually got the 3rd place here now.
Wow.
Trace just got eliminated before Kiri, and that means Kiri just freaking getting this 3rd slot for his team, like on the brink of defeat. Lutina kind of trying to micro his heart up, but I think this has to be good for 8spy, but there's some beautiful attack rounds though from Petit. Wait a second. This is an ending, alright.
Oh my lord. Onyx is going down left, right, and center, but it's going to be Connix first, Teutonic Knight. Or not. Oh my... It's going to be PT.
The KP boys just weren't fast enough. They just ate too many orange shots. Petit was able to out-micro this and get it back. And that means Petit will be claiming spot number 1 here.
Wow. Our first winner of a game for Decathlon 3. Well played to everybody. Absolutely awesome game there. I'm so impressed with Kiri. I'm so impressed with PT there. Really unfortunate for Triss being knocked out so early, but she will have a second chance when we go to Fall of Axum for game 2. But holy moly. Well played.
Well played.
Okie dokie. There were some cool civs. Do you think, actually, are you familiar with Fall of Axum as a map?
Yes,
Yes. Do
I
you think
am.
there's any particularly strong civs for that map?
It's a little bit of a tricky map. I feel like there's going to be a few civs that are a bit weaker because the thing about that map is the castles are all in the center. So on El Dorado, which we just saw, there's castles way more spread out, so unique units are way more used. On Fall of Axum, however, all the castles are in the center, so you're really late getting to the castles, so you can't really rely on the unique units for your main composition. So I feel like we're definitely going to see different civs in this time, because I feel like Ratas will come in too late, Chem Archers will come in too late.
Yeah.
But I find it hard to predict what we will see. I think something like Celts could maybe be possible, because having the decent siege is decent, or just general Paladin civs might be a
Let's go
consideration too.
8p.
Takes, thank you for the sub. Karu, thank you for gifting to Emu as well. And Salt, do you remember from last year? Do you remember what unit we actually saw on Fall of Axum? We had the pros playing, plus 8 spy. So yeah, the pros playing.
I remember
Yeah.
Flaming Camels.
I remember a lot of Flaming Camels from the Viper up against Project Belgium. And not gonna lie, I really hope we see the same thing this game just because it was so good last year. Like it honestly worked so well.
Oh, I just got notice from Alien that they started a game, so I suggest we just start ASAP so we can maybe catch up to live to prevent any desyncing.
Yeah, let's catch up to live. Oh wow, this is. Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, and this is... I actually played this map today. And I also was like, maybe you can make Mongols work. I thought like with the drill siege, you try and get into the city ASAP and maybe you can make it work. But I don't like it because it takes too long to get to the castles, and as Mongols you really want to be on Mangudai. So yeah, as you can see, there's really small starting bases on the outskirts. You kind of want to secure 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, but the center is where it's all at.
Yeah, party in the center. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Half the players here on this map have picked Mongols. We also have Franks, Dravidians, Tatars, and Magyars. So there's potential for Flaming Camels. Just gonna say, I'm excited.
Oh.
Hope to see it.
8 Spy just watched the last game and it's like, heck yeah, I wanna... I mean, Flaming Camels even got buffed, right? Like, it's so irresistible to
Yeah,
not go for
true.
it.
Yeah. Extra
I
damage
see-
against buildings.
Ooh, Petit in this... Petit is very thinly spread. Like, Petit barely has anything left from the get-go. Maybe people are just kind of disliking Petit taking game number 1.
They have a
It's
target.
immediately focusing on breaking in the middle, though. They're kind of struggling there, but it's kind of chaos all around it. At the top side, we see Trace versus 8 Spy. We see Triss running around with a single bikeman again, I fear.
No, Triss, no. Oh, that's so unfortunate. She had a really bad start on game 1, and here she's been chased down by the elite elephant archer and a halberdier friend. Oh, that sucked for Triss. Now it looks to be like Kiri at the moment with potentially the most control, getting pushed back a little bit down the bottom by Hammer Time playing as Magyars here in the pink. So we've got CA against CA. What have we... Hammer Time, Magyar CA versus Dravidian CA. Dravidian CA like Bloodlines, right?
No, they actually do have... oh, wait, sorry. They
No,
do
there's
like
Vandals.
Bloodlines. Yeah.
Yeah. But still taking some control with them, so having good production by the looks of it to get the units out, even if they're not as good as Hammer Time's units, it's enough to push Hammer back. Now PT indeed breaking into the center. Hello Nelson, hello everybody, the booze. So going to get a lot of buildings here, but has just got to take out some neutral Scorpions, which shall be fine. Although CA against Scorpions, not the prettiest thing, but the Cavalier are coming in, PT playing as Mongols.
And, oh no, at the end of the day, Triss last unit has fallen. Again, a rough start for Triss there, and has to kind of get away with the 8th position here. We see most players still kind of fighting around the edges here. 8 Spy in a little bit of trouble, is playing a Nomad style for now. No buildings to his name, does have some units. Trey's fighting for the life too, but does have the little settlement. It's kind of being doubled by Camel and 10% here though. So tricky position. A lot of players really starting low, and Camel, Daddy and Hammer are all looking very strong right now.
Yeah, Trace has 1 unit left. Trace is going to be next out, so 7th place there goes to Trace. 2 Mongol players out of the running. feel like it's a less forgiving start here on Fall of Axum. PT controlling the center, moving out around the outsides of the inner bit. Moving around the outsides of the outer bit of the inner bit. Yeah, you know what I mean. Also moving around to the outside a little bit, still getting more trade workshops. PT's got 5, and that is the highest number so far of trade workshops.
Yeah, this map is very tricky to play because compared to El Dorado and many other Battle Royale maps, the camps are just placed so scarcely. Only in the middle there's really more camps, but there's way more competition from Gaia units that are actually defending it. So we saw Petit going in very early, was able to contest quite a bit of that center, but you can also see that Petit is relatively low on numbers. But yeah, also a lot of players kind of struggling keeping the camps there. And I think that's why Mongols is a bit of a weak civ here, because you don't have any of these power units early on to keep these camps under your name. And it's also hard to get to the center quick enough.
Yeah, I think this map rewards the players that are a bit more patient. They take time to get control on the outside, like Postponing Camel, score lead at the moment, 4 areas of control on the outside, and now can move in. And thankfully for PPC, like I think it was Triss and Trace perhaps, or at least Trace, and 8spy even, that started on the same side as PPC and now not a threat. So he's got a bit more space, he can move in more comfortably, and with Paladin, he's going to have a fine job of clearing the Gaia units that he does have to take some control. PT down 17 pop now, 8spy on 12 up the top, and being chased down by PT. PT's like, nah, these are my buildings, go away.
Yeah, 8spy is trying to very sneakily capture some buildings now, but Camos is not having it. He is still somewhat sitting in the center, still very low unit count. He still has some buildings to his name, but I feel like it's really tricky to get a resource count as necessary, and that's really beautiful for Hammer's setup right now. He has all these trade workshops on the outside. He does have a foothold on the inside, but it's kind of tricky because Hammer and Eddie will probably be fighting a lot early, so that could leave them very exposed to Camel, who basically gets to kind of claim a lot of land here for free.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's got a lot of control. Kiri moving in the bottom, a player in teal, playing as Mongols, so we've got just some Hussar and CA at the moment. 8spy does have some buildings now, so maybe playing a little bit more patiently just to get those resources in safe, get more units out on the field. But look at the control from Hammer Time. There's so much pink on the minimap on the outside, PPC doing really well on the inside, and it's just a low CA versus CA.
Another tricky thing for 8spy though, like even if he does have a spot to start messing units again, the wall is not pretty broken on that side where he's at. So whenever he wants to get in, he either needs his own siege, but he's not producing any siege yet, or he needs to get through a hole where some other player is probably contesting the gap to.
There's a lot of castles in the center to claim. Essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gaia in there with Camel Archers up against PPC's Paladin. It's going to dwindle the numbers a little bit, but PPC up on 87 population, Hammer Time doing well, 91, with a lot of CA siege coming in from the bottom as well. Now 8spy, more control on the outside, which is great, but PT in the grey down on 10 population now. It's just a couple of CA, Hussar.
We're also getting closer and closer to the point where your outer ring controls is going to fall apart. Like even if you have stuff on the outside, that's no guarantee for success anytime soon, because all these buildings are going to collapse. Now what you have in the middle is going to count on how you got there. Still looking very solid for Camel. I like Hammer's precision too. Daddy is looking a bit rough, and I think Petit just rushed the middle a bit too early. I feel like Petit just forced that a little bit too hard. It's very tricky to make it work on this map. Petit now trying to survive with his little mobile army and the one champion slowing the rest of his units down. It's just lovely to see.
So look at the CA here for Hammer Time. Magyar CA and taking a choke point against the Paladin. That's a great fight for Hammer Time to take. Numbers are still really similar between PPC and Hammer Time. There are 2 front runners, but that's really good that the Hammer Time's been taking care of the units, right? Not throwing them away, clumping them together, taking good fights.
Yeah, it is tricky though, because Camel does have so many castles in the center, so the fights are not necessarily amazing. The only just for Camel are kind of out of position. They're kind of hunting down the CA of Daddy right now, but that's not really the real threat. Like for Camel, it's way more important to actually cut down the CA numbers from Hammer, because That is the biggest contestant for Camel's #1 position right now.
PT is on 2, population is 2 CA, they're running around the outside, so I think PT is going to be out of the running here, but it's Sampersan now as Dravidians, with some elite Camel Archers, getting a bit more map control in the middle, it's got some siege out, so it's just mainly the Elephant Archers there for Sampersan, but against that many Magyar CA, he's got to move back. Hi Varian,
Okay,
thank you.
so we have A-Spy, Petit, and Daddy all on the outside ring, basically with their armies. Now, 8-Spy has a significant force, might be able to get back in the middle, is trying to make a run for it right now, kind of trying to steal a bit of Hammer Time's bases. Hammer Time is contesting in the middle. But for Daddy and Petit, it's just a race of whoever loses their military first. And looking at Petit's units, I think that's going to be Petit, yes.
Yep, caught up by the Paladin. So let's see how long Kerry can survive again. Did it in game 1, going again game 2. Dawson, thank you for the gift subs.
I have to say, it's a whole lot harder on this map because of all the towers and every player having ballistics. So every time you run circles around the town, you're still going to take damage. It's very tricky to stay in the match here for a prolonged amount of time.
Yeah, and Kerry just 4 population at the moment and dropping and being chased by 8-Spy. In the middle, we've got BBC on the field and a lot of BBC from our Frank player, postponing Camel in blue, going up against Hammer Time. I think that might be what it comes down to, honestly, and that's just been really good timing from both players as to how they worked their control on the outside earlier, what time they went to move into the middle. It's paying off for PT. Not PT, sorry, PPC.
Wow, Daddy only had 2 buildings that left. He had a range and a stable. He had no units to secure it, but none of the other players realized that they could capitalize on it, and now Daddy's like, okay, I can claim all this area. Camel is completely focused in the middle. And that's also another thing about this map. Like, it's beautiful for Camel that he has so many castles, but all the production is outside of the castles. And there's only a single trade, actually 2 trade workshops in the middle, my mistake. And Hammer Time actually getting defeated here, looking very strong, kind of contending Camel for the #1 position, but
for checking in.
overextending a little bit. 8-Spy sneaking in from behind, and 10% also kind of adding on that. 8-Spy honestly is making a beautiful comeback this game so far.
Yeah, really, really nice work from 8-Spy and from Daddy as well. Now, do you think it could be worth it? Like, maybe not at this point, but a little bit earlier when Kiri and Teal had so few units, but was moving them around and getting some more buildings. Do you think it'd make sense just to actually get the rally point of those buildings into the building itself? Wait until you've got some more numbers before moving out? Because I feel like dodging the towers and the CA that are chasing you everywhere, maybe it would have been worthwhile?
It's a little bit tricky because, of course, if you have your units in the buildings, that means your opponent can convert the building and they'll automatically pop out. So it's kind of a lose-lose kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit tricky to play that out.
Oh, Kiri, 5 units left. I'm going to keep an eye on them. The corruption is closing in very, very quickly. And PPC, oh no, out. There it is. Kiri taken out, but in 4th place. Holy smokes.
It's something. So Camel is now kind of forced to play a full throwing X-Men composition here. I don't even feel like it's necessarily the unit you want right now, but it's the unit Camel has to use right now.
Yeah.
Basically all he can get right now is a few Paladin. He still has an Onager he probably wants to be very careful with. And as I say that, they're going down. It's not going down. Oh, actually, never mind, it's going down.
Yep. Okay, siege from Sampersand and even armored elephants coming in, trying to break into the middle. 8-Spy has got some Tatar camels, CA, but not very many numbers, down on 7. It looks like PBC's game.
Camel even has 3 bombard cannons in the south that I missed earlier. That's honestly so nice. That's almost a guaranteed win against all these range units 10% has left. I don't think they'll be able to contest it. The castles are just too much. 8-Spy is now also bumped out. And it's looking like a very solid game for Camel. Yeah, 7% now gonna lose the buildings to the Void.
To the Void. The Void got it again. PPC taking the 2nd game, so that means it was a big win for PT from Team TBD, and then PPC getting the win for Dave's Huns. Pet the Hun.
Honestly, the whole ranking this game has been very much messed around. Like, Petit was ranked 1, then went rank 6. We have 7% rank 2 and rank 6. We have I think overall, Kiri was the best performing player on average with rank 3 and rank 4, interestingly enough. And yeah, Triss unfortunately really on the short end of the stick hit point wise. That is a rough setup.
Yeah, really, really rough for Triss. PT, I'm sorry, I accidentally called you PP. 8spy with 2 and 3. 8spy, yes, 2 and 3. Great from 8spy as well. So they're on Battle Royale games, and I can't believe it. Salt and Pepper, can you believe that I'm actually on schedule? What?
How? So that
I
means